Hey, how's everyone doing today? This is Josh Noel with PremiumBeat, and in this After Effects video, I'm going to show you 3 different techniques when working with typography. So here we are inside of After Effects, and the goal of this video is to show you how to create clean text that has simple animation to it, but it looks very professional. So let's go ahead and create our first composition by clicking the composition over here, and we can call it 1, and we'll click OK. So first things first, when creating great titles, you need to have good typography design. So you need to grab a text title tool, and we want to type out our text. So we'll type out PremiumBeat. This by itself is generally not very good. It's very small. So what we need to make sure is that the title is nice and large, that it takes up most of this black space in here. So that should be decent. And we go to the Align tab and center this up in the center of our composition. If you don't see the Align tab, go up to Window, Align, and there's your text. And now we can type out a subtitle. Now, it's not all the time you need to have subtitles, but let's just say you are working with subtitles. So we can come here and type out our second title. So now we have our second title in here, and obviously this looks bad. Not only is it going out of frame, but even if we kept it at this style and made it smaller, there's no contrast in our text. And we need to make sure that when there are subtitles, that there is contrast. So what we can do to create contrast within our titles is to make sure that maybe we're using the same, typeface, which is Gotham here. And when you have a typeface full of different fonts in here, obviously we were working bold. Now we can set it to light, and there's automatically contrast between the two titles. Now we need to make this a little bit smaller so we can, put this in frame, and we're even creating more contrast when doing this. So we can have this kind of stretched out completely to the other side here like this. And there's apparent contrast between these two titles. Now we can go even further with this. We can maybe make the top title here part of our logo color. So that's fine. So obviously now there's definitely that contrast here, but there's something about the subtitle that says, hey, this is still kind of big. The contrast is not as great as we can make it. So what we can do is continue to make this smaller. And you can always center this up. There's many ways to position this, but let's just say you wanted to have it going across your main title. What you can do is that there is a tracking icon down here, and you can increase this and you'll have the tracking like this. Now this is good and all to do it over here, but I don't suggest doing it over on the character window. What I suggest doing is make sure your text layer is selected over here, you open it up, you go to animate, and you add tracking, and you can increase the tracking like this. And the reason why you want to do it this way is only if you want to, animate the tracking amount. So you can add a keyframe for this, and you can now animate the tracking of the title. So I just wanted to show you how to do it that way if you wanted to animate the tracking. Now what's very important is that we want to have both of these titles aligned correctly. So you can grab both the layers, go to the Align tab, and you can left align them or center align them. I'm going to do left align because from here I can just readjust the tracking amount. So I'll set this to 28. And now we have this perfect block like this, and it looks very comparable. You just want to make sure that's matched up as best as you can. So now that we have our title nicely designed in here, we want to animate this, and there's multiple ways we can animate this title. So the first real technique I want to teach you is the mask transition. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that PremiumBeat is going to be 2 different layers. So we want Premium to be just Premium, and then we want to create another text layer and call it Beat. Even though PremiumBeat is our logo, we're going to reveal it on as 2 words. So what we're going to do is select over layers, hit P on the keyboard for position, add a keyframe for that, and we'll move these keyframes forward in time until maybe like 2 seconds or so. And we're going to move the Beat over to the left side of our comp here, and the Premium over to the right side. So we're basically going to get this, and don't worry about it. I know it looks terrible, but we're going to work on it. So go to royalty-free music or your subtitle, and we can move this up. So basically this is what we're getting. So now what we want to do is pre-compose each of these layers individually. So select your first layer, go to layer, pre-compose, and you can call it title 1. Go to the second layer, pre-compose that as well, call it title 2. Go to the last layer and you call it title 3. Alright, so now we have to create mask. Now we can grab our title 1 down over here, and we want to position our playhead after the transition or the animation, and we'll draw out a mask like this, and then we will copy this mask and paste it onto title 2, hit M on our keyboard and click on subtract. So now these two words are coming in at the same point, and then for the title 3, we'll draw a nice mask here to be right underneath the title here. So now, boom, you get this, and we'll move title 3 over in time. So PremiumBeat comes out, and we'll move this forward a little bit. Nice, okay. And we ran preview this real fast. You'll see that we have our reveal just very simply like that, coming in from each other like that. So that's a cool way to reveal on. Now let's talk about animating this title a little bit differently. So here we are in another composition. I already have PremiumBeat and royalty-free music as a main title and a subtitle. And I want to open up PremiumBeat layer, and I want to go to animate, and let's do a position. And what we can do here is we can offset the position like this. So maybe we can bring it from the top. And from here, we can open up range selector, add a keyframe for start percentage. We can move forward in time and set this to 100%. And what's going to happen is we're going to have each letter just dropping in here like this. And what we can do is maybe make both these keyframes easy ease keyframes by hitting F9 on our keyboard. And we can open up the graph editor right over here, just this icon over here. We can select this keyframe, the last one, and we can drag out this vertice. And essentially what's going to happen is that the ending is going to slow down a lot more than before. So we'll preview that real fast. I'll show you what I mean. So this is essentially what we have, and we can of course, move this out in time. And of course you can always refine. And with the graph editor, you can control the speed of your animation. And now we have this drop in from our main title here. And let's take the same exact concept and let's apply it to royalty-free music. Once again, go to animate, click on position. If we want, we can have it dropping in from down here. And we go to the range selector. Of course, once again, you want to do this start percentage, move forward. So maybe we'll do like 2 seconds, set to 100%. And now you'll notice that, each letter is coming out at the same time, but maybe that's not what we want. If we go to the advanced tab and we go to based on, we can set it to words. So now, instead of just being characters, it's now the words. And of course, I'll just remove this hyphen here, even though technically you're supposed to put a hyphen there. Just going to remove that hyphen real quick just to show you a little bit further in detail. And you get that. And maybe instead of having it come downward, we have it come upward. And essentially this is what you have. And with that technique last time, we can pre-compose this and do that same exact mask reveal technique. Click on subtract and move this over. And now you have PremiumBeat coming down by letter, and then you have royalty-free music dropping in by word with that mask technique that we showed in tip number 1. And this is how to animate with tip number 2. And also keep in mind that you just don't have to do position. You also have scale, skew, rotation, opacity, tracking. You can have all the control over here to animate it any way that you want with any transform value, so you don't have to be limited just to position. And in our third and final technique, we're going to work with shapes. So we're going to reveal on our text and animate it with shape layers. So maybe our title doesn't have to move at all, but this is what we're going to do. So maybe we can start off with like this nice, rectangle over here. And we want this to reveal on our title. So maybe we'll actually bring it up to the other side. And what we can do is hit P on our keyboard for position. Add that keyframe there, move forward. We'll go to 2 seconds again, since that's our nice sweet spot for this video. And we'll have it going across like this. So now we have this, shape animation going on in here. And we want this to be revealed on from the shape. So what we can do over here is grab PremiumBeat, and we can grab the rectangle tool. And we'll just draw out a mask like this from the rectangle that covers up the entire title. And you come into the mask path, you open up the mask 1 to go to the mask path, add a keyframe for that, move forward to the end of the animation, and you select both these points over here, and you move the mask in, and we'll set the mask to subtract. So now the shape is going to reveal on PremiumBeat like that. Now, of course, the shape has to animate out. We don't want it to stay there. So what we can do with the shape is we can go open up shape layer 1, go to the contents, go to the rectangle 1, go to rectangle path. We can break the chain for size. We can add a keyframe for size, move this keyframe forward in time by a few frames, and set the X size to 0. So now it'll just come on like that, and it'll go across. And right at this point, we can add another keyframe for size, move that back just by a little bit, and set the X size to 0 again. Maybe for the design down here, we'll just grab the rectangle tool, and we'll just draw out an entire background over royalty free. We can put it underneath our subtitle, and we can change the color here at the top to, you know, any other color we want. So maybe we'll do like a medium gray here. And of course, we're going to want to select both these layers and make sure that they're centered. And what I want to do is go to this new shape layer, go to contents, go to rectangle path 1, and break the change for size. And we're going to do something very similar here. We'll add a keyframe for size. We'll move this forward to like 2 seconds, and we'll set this down to 0. And now we have this animation, and I want the title to be revealed on by this animation. And maybe we'll even keep the background. So what we can do, I'll call this one sub shape. What we can do is grab our subtitle shape layer here, duplicate it by going up to Edit, Duplicate, and we'll bring our royalty-free music in the middle between the two duplicated layers, and make sure royalty-free music is selected, and set this to Alpha Matte. So now our main title or subtitle will be revealed on by the shape. And of course, we can grab these 3 layers and move them back in time. And that's essentially how you can put this together. And of course, with any 2D motion graphics, especially with titles, you gotta turn on motion blur. Turn it on over here, turn it on at the top, and now you'll have that nice, motion blur in there, and you should be good to go. Let's go ahead and render this out and see what we have. All right, and here's our render of everything here, and we have our titles being revealed by shapes. So we were able to use mask to reveal on our titles. We were able to animate each of our words and letters individually, and we were able to use shapes to animate our titles. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and were able to take away several techniques from it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. For more tutorials, please be sure to check out our blog at PremiumBeat.com. And if you're in the need for royalty-free music, we have a huge library full of great music for your projects. So if you have the time, I invite you to check us out at PremiumBeat.com. And once again, thank you for watching this video. And this has been Joshua Noel from PremiumBeat.com.